But when Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam conquered Makkah, the companions of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam captured all enemies and brought them to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the slogan, Al-Yawmu Yawmul Malhama, Al-Yawmu Yawmul Malhama, which means it is the day to take revenge upon the enemies, it is the day to tear the enemies apart, it is the day to kill the enemies.
ये मरकजुल मारिफिल मुफन की वो किताब है कि जिसमें अहदिनों के हर सवाल का जवाब है। ये मरकजुल मारिफिल मुफन की वो किताब है कि जिसमें
नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम, अम्मा बाद, अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम, बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। लक़द कान लकुम फ़ी रसूलिल्लाहि उसवतुन हसनह, सदक़ल्लाहुल अज़ीम। Honorable President of today's program, highly qualified judges and dear friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, I have been given the honor to speak on the topic of ideal leader and good governance. Dear far-sighted audience, the world has reached a consensus that good governance is significant for human resource development in any society. In this context, the UNDP, IMF, World Bank, various NGOs and numerous suggest that good governance primarily relies on the institutional infrastructure. The literature further accepts that the quality of leadership is also significant for good governance. The important principle of good governance is that the ruler must be sincere and of impeccable character. He must consider himself not a ruler but a servant. He should behave with restraint and avoid abuse of power. He should act within the parameters of the law and take upon himself the country's concern and hardship. Beloved audience, the absence of honesty in any society often leads towards unethical practices. For example, our present day society is in the grip of widespread corruption. A politician submits a fake degree to stand in election. A police kills a person in a fake encounter. A builder uses outdated material, and a doctor recommends a drug to gain commission from a pharmaceutical firm. So you can realize how much the concept of honesty is violated. Dear nation's brother, the good governance is neither dependent on democracy nor infrastructure of institution. Rather, the primary determinant of good governance is the leader who is set responsible for establishing all the necessary system. Therefore, the state should be governed by leaders committed to earning people's happiness through their action and governance. Leaders committed with the welfare of the masses. The most significant and shining example of ideal leader is the personality of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he became the head of state of Medina, he exemplified good governance. He created a bond of brotherhood among the Muslim citizens, concluded agreements with non-Muslims. Dear intellectuals, the enemies of Islam in Makkah were very cruel. But when Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam conquered Makkah, the companions of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam captured all enemies and brought them to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the slogan, Al-Yawmu Yawmul Malhama, Al-Yawmu Yawmul Malhama, which means it is the day to take revenge upon the enemies, it is the day to tear the enemies apart, it is the day to kill the enemies. The enemies were those people who tortured Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he was in the Makkah. The enemies were those people who abused Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The enemies were those who surrounded him and tried to assassinate him. And see, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam reacted and responded to the slogan of his companions. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Al-Yawmu Yawmul Marhama, Al-Yawmu Yawmul Marhama, which means it is the day to show mercy upon the enemies. It is the day not to torture the enemies. It is the day to forgive the enemies. Such a compassionate and forgiving a leader Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. Dear dignitaries, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his lifetime itself has formed for dynamic, dedicated, determined and disciplined leader who were Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Usman and Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu has ruled over the world and he was well known for doing justice to every citizen of the state. Dear brethren, anybody in the world can name the leader who has ruled over the world but on torn clothes with passage. Is there any leader who carried cans of drinking water on his soldier for poor and widow women? Is there any leader who visited the places alone without being escorted by bodyguard? It was Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. That's why Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, in one of his articles, not only praised Caliph Umar, but also said India needed a leader like him. Dear friends, in short, people cannot make progress unless they follow these principles of good governance. No nation can dream of development without good governance. If we want to prosper and succeed, we will have to consider the recently discussed fact. Here, I terminate my talk with the prayer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may the country prosper and give us tawfiq, bring them into practices. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana, and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.